What was the most challenging part of each of your roles for you guys? Was it the fact that this is like a total iconic classic, and how do you even follow in the Kevin Bacon,
I think that, I mean, we knew that we had responsibility to do it justice because it is an iconic movie, but at the same time, I think the most challenging thing for me was just knowing this was my first leading role, and I wanted to show that I got this movie for the acting, not necessarily for the dancing. So I was just more so focused on my character and, making that relationship between my dad and me real. And so that was my challenge, not so much thinking about what everybody else was going to think about the movie. So
yeah, and when during the audition process and also growing up, you see the movie a ton. But once we booked it, I didn't watch it again for like 2 or 3 months prior. So it felt new and fresh for me to say some of the same things even from the original. We wanted to make sure that we weren't mimicking, and I think that was a bit of the challenge. But also having Craig Brewer direct it and rewrite it, he kind of took the pressure of that and let us just perform. So
yeah.
Luckily we had him.
We were young when the original came out, obviously. What kind of impact did the original film have on you guys?
Well, I was born 4 years later, so when I saw it, it was, it was still kind of old for me.
Right.
But I loved it. I mean, I grew up dancing and singing and acting my whole life, and so that was one of those movies that, I depicted what I wanted to do. And, yeah, it was so fun to be able to, have something that close to your heart and be able to do it.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of the original film, so once I heard that they were remaking it, I was like, oh boy, that's gonna be tough. And then I heard that, she was involved and some other actors were involved, and I was kind of jealous. I was like, damn, I want to be Ren. And Craig Brewer took over, and she stayed aboard, and I came on. So it was just I was very grateful for the opportunity. And now that it's out or coming out soon, we're just beyond excited.
I know.
Yeah. And I like the story of how they discovered you through Justin Timberlake, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I went into audition, and they saw Justin on my resume, so then they contacted him because Craig Brewer had worked with him and the casting director as well, so he put in his 2 cents, and it all helps, so yeah.
Yeah, a recommendation from Justin Timberlake.
It's not bad.
Probably
Yeah.
not bad.
I'll take it, yeah.
I like the story, too, of how Craig thought you were hiding your Boston accent and then decided, why are we doing this?
Yeah,
This is
I mean,
awesome.
essentially it's a kid from up north, and whether it's Chicago or Boston, I think it all works. So he embraced the accent, and the distinction between a Boston accent and a Southern accent is huge. So I think it also helped for the story as well.
Plus, you guys are doing something that's so much fun. I mean, dancing, which
So much
dancing,
fun.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, are there any funny stories from on set? You guys, anything really funny? I mean, it seemed like there was a lot of camaraderie from what I read and from what was
Yeah.
experienced, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just the cast was amazing and so much fun. I mean, the last dance, there was just the cast and the crew, even when the camera weren't rolling, they were all dancing. And the guy that does the confetti on the blower, he's this old guy, does construction or something, and he's shaking his butt. And I have the video on my phone because we were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I don't know. I mean, nothing really crazy and funny. We weren't goofing off.
We
but,
heard the original cast pulled a lot of pranks, and we're barbecuing in hotel rooms and stuff. We didn't do any of that, but me and Miles got in a little bit of trouble ourselves offset, which we won't talk about.